Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal. And joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the tank top sage. It's Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What's good, Chris? What up, everybody? Listen.
Hey. Also joining us, it is our edgelord, Big News Brian. Brian.
What's up, nerds?
Oh, hey. There you are. We're back. We're here. New show. Very excited. We're late. I'm sorry about that. Life gets in the way. But we're here now. A little late. Right into spoiler day, which is Wednesday, but we are fitting one in anyway. But we got some stuff to talk about, so let's not waste any time and get right into plugs. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh, where can they find you?
At JD Cole _37. That's on Instagram, and at New Jump City. Josh on.
Yeah, Brian. Brian.
Sorry, I was muted again. You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. If you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Ooh, damn right. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram as well. And if you want, you can also check us out on TikTok. So that would be super cool. Emails at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. We literally just rounded out our emails now, our questions for now. So send some more. Why not? Check it, newjumpcitypod@gmail.com, and we read them on our pre-show chat show or flashback episodes. I haven't renamed them yet, but we do a little like half-hour chat before every show. It usually comes out the Wednesday after the show, just so we could spread out some content for you guys. But check us out on that. We answer questions on that and stuff, so I hope you guys enjoy it. You can also comment under the YouTube video that you're watching. Please do. That would be super cool to get some engagement going on that. So if you have any questions, suggestions, thoughts on the show, comment under the video that you're watching. We still don't have exact video capability, but I still upload the podcast to YouTube regardless. And please help us out on that. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And since we're already an audio podcast anyway, and if you prefer just having these in your ears at all times, you can hit us up on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iTunes, Pandora, Amazon Music. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you could find us pretty easy. I think we're quite literally on every platform that hosts podcasts known to man. So check us out on that. And let's with spoiler alerts ahead, let us forge onward.
Tell that pussycat girl me know what.
Jujutsu Kaisen. And
I thought you started with My Hero.
Oh, I forgot about My Hero. My bad. Let's redo that.
We call that Easy Monday GG.
I'll take a derp for that one. That one's on me.
Yes, sir. My
Hero Academia. This is My Hero Academia, chapter 398, Toshinori Yagi, Rising/Origin. So over the last few chapters, we've been watching the battle between All For One and All Might, and it is pretty intense. All Might's got this super cool mech suit that mimics the properties of the quirks of his students, which is kind of a nice little touch there. He has weapons embedded in this suit that are reminiscent of his students and all that stuff. So, for example, we open this chapter with All Might getting after All For One using a super acid injection known as Pinky, named after, of course, Ashido. And yeah, it seems to be having an effect on All for One, but he's like, All Might is still just like talking shit. He's just like, oh, just after rewinding some damage, you're dissolving away now, and All for One's like, oh my, I'm not so trash after all, huh? So much for that theory. And we get a little flashback chapter actually to the day that All Might met Shimura, the previous holder of All for One before him, and he asked her to be her pupil. And she's basically floating away from him, basically rejecting him, saying like, without a quirk, ridiculous. And he's like, please, I mean it. And All Might explains that his family was killed a while back. And she says, yeah, mine too, but I don't have the luxury to join your little quest for vengeance. And All Might counters by saying that he just can't accept a world where those who take from others come out on top, and then those who have everything stolen, their grief turns to hatred in an endless spiraling cycle. And Shimura asks what his solution is, and All Might says that he wants to make a world where everyone can live with a smile, and for that reason the world needs a symbol. And she's like, a symbol of what? And he says, of peace. He says, even with plenty of new buildings and visible restoration efforts, people have been living in fear, and their hearts and minds are shrouded by darkness. So Shimura is just like, so you would just put on a grand display of power? And he says, well, everyone's had a tough enough time with their own 3-foot radius. So yes, I would step up. A quirkless guy like me has no role otherwise. And we cut back to the present with a big 2-page spread of All Might getting just slacked through several buildings. It is pretty intense. His suit is breaking down at this point. He's got fractured ribs and full body contusions, and he has respiratory malfunction. It's not looking good for All Might right now. But
Fucked up in a game.
Yeah, it's not. It's bad news right now. But he still gets up, remembering all of his times with Midoriya, and Stain saying that the man that he knew as All Might would not live his life any other way than to just like keep fighting. So he gets up, and he's like, he notices that All for One is even younger at this point, and he wonders that if All for One even noticed himself. So he had to use it turns out he had to use a bunch of quirks to expel the super acid from his body, but the strain is hurting him. So him taking damage seems to speed up his like de-aging process. So All Might just starts to laugh and laugh and laugh, causing All for One to just kind of like get pissed, get even more upset. So All for One just says he like remembers all those times, with Deku and all that stuff, and he's like, to be of service to others, what a joy! Fight on together, you hear me? And he reassembles with his suit with a whole bunch of new things. He has like thrusters with named Uravity and Ingenium that propel him to full throttle. We then get his like a shot of his like one for all visage as we cut back to Deku for the first time in a long time, and he seems to be sensing that All Might is currently fighting right now. And we end in basically this 4-panel 2-page spread of All Might, Midoriya, All for One, and Shigaraki, I guess, locked in intense battle, and that's where this chapter ends. Josh, what do you think about My Hero Academia chapter 398?
This is RGC.
Whoa. Brian, is this your RGC by any chance?
Yeah, it's my RGC.
Okay. It's not mine. I'm sorry, but I'll drop it.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Yeah, so This chapter filled me with joy as I read it. I think this is really reminding me who All Might is, what he represented, to heroes and to society in general. That small flashback, um, with the previous All for One owner, kind of shed light. Like it made before All Might, shit wasn't as organized in the hero community. It really was All Might and his his symbol of hope or peace or whatever that ushered in this era of heroes to where it is now, for better or worse. And I would say mostly for the better, I guess, because people were generally safer. It's just that people still fell through the cracks in the system, and the hero villain cycle wasn't really helpful. But regardless, um, I had forgotten that, like through all this time, reading My Hero Academia, like All Might started off as already this wounded hero, but we see him do amazing things, like from when he beat the shit out of that Nomu in the training facility, and sent that nigga to Mars, or when he, punched One for All, All for One so hard that his he had to stay in a fucking wheelchair for the rest of eternity. Anyway, you get my point. Like he stopped being that guy, after he lost his powers, and I started forgetting what he was even about. He kind of just was this extra guy around that felt like a cheerleader. And it's crazy because it's like he expressed that earlier, and I wasn't in a position, I wasn't receptive to hear that or like read that, because I was upset about the current state of the manga. But I'm accepting where it's at now, and I appreciate uh what Horikoshi is doing, almost reintroducing us to All Might. Like, yeah, this is who he is. Like, he was never gonna back down and run away. He will gladly die in the process. He was always ready to die. It's just that he was so strong, he never could. He was that nice. And he's the one that put out All for One. He put that nigga out, not the other guys. All Might did. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You are not wrong.
Right. So, if anyone's gonna show him, I'll hold you. I got more confidence in All Might winning this fight than I do in Gojo winning his. But we'll have that conversation later. That's how I feel. All Might was always that nigga and proved it. All Might fought his Sukuna, and he showed All for One that you were lucky that none of these niggas was me before. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Brian, what are your thoughts?
I fucking love this chapter. Because it kind of, we haven't really gotten to anything about All Might's past and how he was. Like before
Yoshinori?
he got the quirk. Yeah, before he got the quirk, we didn't see what kind of world it was. What his relationship with Nana was like. It was just really cool to see kind of the origins of All Might's character and see what inspired him to be the person that he is. And the way that they executed it was like really fucking cool. I'm really glad that we got to see that out of him before, the end of his journey. And I hope that this isn't the end for him. Even though it does feel like some hoorah for both All Might and All for One. So I don't know. But there's one little tidbit that you probably didn't notice is that All Might's eye was unshadowed in one of those panels.
It's true.
Like his regular eye was being shown instead of it being like dark.
Yeah.
Which was an interesting little tidbit there, showing that, he's kind of like, it feels like All Might without with like dark eyes is him being like inhuman, a fucking god amongst men. But when his eyes are there, it shows that he's the human part of him, you know? Like a man that's touchable, that could be defeated at any moment, but he chooses to fight anyway. So
I think
I
he
think
had
that
the
was-
dark eyes.
he and
With
his
the
right
suit.
eye.
I think the suit gave him that, and you can't see it on the left side because it got blown away.
The suit.
Yeah,
He's talking about on page
Look.
12 where you can finally see like All Might's eyes.
yeah, yeah. But you can only see his left eye looks different because it's not covered by the mask.
I think what he's saying is that
Mhm.
like All Might, usually his eyes are just like really sunken in, so they're usually like covered in shadow anyway. But this is like the first time in a while we've seen just his eyes, like for what they really are.
Oh, so it's not about the two different colors. It's
No.
about just how they look right now in general.
Yeah,
Wide eyed.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
you're right.
finally get
I
to see
see.
like the area around his pupils. I don't know what that's called.
Yoshinori.
But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah, this was I really like this chapter. It's not my RGC, but I did appreciate what this does for the character of All Might, and for someone we've spent so much time with, and who has fallen by the wayside, I think like by design, you know, because I think the whole point of it is of All Might just kind of like going to the side is realizing that like in the best possible way he wasn't needed anymore. Because this new generation is just so good, you know, and they feel like they have like an understanding of what needs to be done and stuff. So All Might was almost not necessary even as a mentor because the generation that came after him is just like so intuitive already, and they didn't really need it. But in this moment, and I think to speak to the point of what Brian mentioned with his eyes like being fully shown, I think this was more like All Might reconnecting with his younger side that was able to make a difference. And I think it's the culmination of that being by the wayside for so long and just coming back into it and being useful again has really reinvigorated his spirit.
He's like back to being human again, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, he's back to, you know, being alive again. I could see like there's moments in over the course of the series where like All Might is depressed because he doesn't really know how he can make a difference in the position that he's in, being like not as strong as he used to be. And with Midoriya just picking stuff up and being taught basically by the successors within his own mind, he didn't really have a role to play until now. And I realize it's just him waking up from that and just really embracing that like, hey, I can make a difference even now as a quirkless guy. It's like he said in the flashback. It's like I'm supposed like I could be a symbol, and you know, and I could protect my 3-foot radius. You know, so this is his version of that in his older age, which is really cool, and it's very fitting overall for All Might's character, being the strongest guy for so long, and now even in his weakness, he's making like a humongous difference, and is likely going to be the guy that actually ends up turning the point of the battle again. So, really cool moment. I think he is on his last legs at this point, seeing as how we got the reminder of his visage within One for All. So,
Oh yeah, it was pretty cool to see his visage be like, "Oh shit, that's my boy."
don't forget about me. I'm gonna be this soon. So, one thing I do wish, and you know, maybe this is just like kind of a nitpick for me because, so much of the world's lore is tied to All Might. It's my hope that we just like get to see a little bit more of his past and all that stuff. Although I don't know if there's like really like time for it, and I think this flashback suffices enough. I think we get the point necessarily, but it is cool to see like young All Might, you know, and how he got to where he was. If this is all we get of his past, then that's fine with me. But my hope is that this is not the last of the flashbacks, and we get to see a little bit of how he became the guy that he is. Just because he's such a he is the guy of this universe, you know. He's like so much is tied to him in a lore sense, in a world building sense, but yeah. But that's it. I really like this chapter a good amount, and you know, as per usual, obligatory. The art was fantastic this week again. This 2-page spread is crazy. Just the detail on the background. I don't know if Horikoshi drew this background himself, but if he did, because sometimes assistants do backgrounds, but this was really incredible work. But outside of that, I think those are all my thoughts. Do you guys have any rebuttals or anything?
Nope.
Okay, now let's move on to Jujutsu Kaisen. Now Jujutsu Kaisen. Josh, I'm going to throw it over to you. Josh is going to cover Jujutsu Kaisen for us today.
Hey, it's been a while since I covered it, but let me get to it. So last week we continued Gojo's fight against what a lot of people are calling the fraud Sukuna and his fraud partner Maharaga. His wheel got turned enough times, and he finally was able to get through Gojo's inviolability.
Got it.
I don't.
You said it right. Inviolability.
Why that instead of invulnerability?
Because it's not invulnerable. He's not invulnerable. He is inviolable, which means you can't reach him.
Oh, cool. So, well, Maharaga can. So that's where we're at. So we continue this next chapter, and everyone watching is pressed. They're like, "Oh my fucking god!" But Itadori is like, "It's not over yet." You know, it makes this more challenging, but you know, Sensei can still, you know, get at Sukuna. And this other person's like, nah, he's, you know, his healing is slowing down. You know, he was able to fire the red, like his red curse technique, but the output is going down. Basically, he's getting weakened, and everyone's starting to come to terms as well as everybody here at New Jump City Comics, and I mean everyone, that Satoru Gojo could lose. Gojo himself was aware of that prospect. So he starts thinking about, when was the last time I had this sensation of maybe losing? And we see one of our favorite characters also as a New Jump City collective, Megumi's dad. He has a name though.
Toji?
Huh?
Toji.
Huh? If you say so.
That's his name.
Yeah, what about his worm?
Oh, I don't know what his worm name is.
I really want to know the name of that curse beast. It's pretty important. Anyway. So even though he was starting to feel like he could lose, he also got due satisfaction from the fact that there was finally someone else on this plane of existence that could give him a challenging fight. As he races ahead and starts beating the shit out of Maharaga like he owes him money, and he hits him with a dragon palm strike move. Hits him so hard that even Sabo would envy that. You know, because he has that dragon claw move. Anyway, so he starts what I'm assuming calling for his parents and loved ones after that ass beating phase, Paramita, and Pillar of Light. Maybe that's where he's from. His parents and
that's
his
Gojo.
neighborhood, because he's scared. What?
No, that's Gojo talking.
Oh, that is?
Yeah.
It was so much funnier in my head that Maharaga was.
It would have been funny if it was Maharaga, but.
Well, Maharaga's still getting his ass whooped, and right as Gojo's about to hit him with a, I guess another red, your man Sukuna uses the 10 Shadows rabbit technique to, I guess, get up out of there and provide a small shield. Gojo mentions he asks if he's still hurting from the Black Flash. I guess that's an important point that I'm going to get into in a second. So he's chasing Maharaga and Sukuna down, and he makes reference saying that Maharaga could touch me, so he's the one on offense. But Sukuna, he's still recovering from being hurt, so he's going to be defensive. But as they've been fighting, Sukuna's not taking a passive role. He's really he's trying to assist Maharaga in making contact with Gojo, and in those moments where he does make contact with him, Sukuna's trying to use curse techniques like piercing blood, which that was kind of crazy that he pulled out of there. I don't know who expected that.
Yeah, Sukuna seems to have the ability to copy other people's techniques as well, because he did it to Jogo. He did it to Jogo, the lava head curse.
Oh, that's fucked up. But he can't do bloodline ones. He can't do Kekkei Genkais.
Well, this is technically kind of a Kekkei Genkai. Because this is damn, what's it called? The man, what was that family called? The
blood piercing people.
Yeah,
the blood
piercing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
This is their technique.
Oh, but he can't copy Limitless because he doesn't have the eyes.
No, he can't. Well, Limitless. Yeah, I don't know what are the bounds of what he can and can't copy. The eyes are not really tied to Limitless. There's two separate things, the eyes and Limitless. The 6 eyes is, I guess, technically kind of like a Byakugan-esque type of thing where you can see people's cursed energy and how it's being used and applied. And the Limitless is Gojo's innate technique that was that he inherited, and he was the first guy to have it in probably 1,000 years or something.
So the question is, could Sukuna copy that?
I don't think so. I guess not. Maybe he can't copy.
Anyway.
Well, I think because he can't copy, I guess, innate techniques, things that are unique to the person, and Limitless is not necessarily a family technique. It's something that's unique to Gojo.
Oh.
But that's how I'm seeing it. It's not very clear in the narrative, I guess, as some things are with Jujutsu Kaisen, to be honest. But that's the logic I'm kind of following, because this seems to be he seems to be able to copy family techniques because they're not innate, they're not particularly unique, because a lot of people can use them within their families. But I guess what I'm saying is that Sukuna couldn't copy Nanami's technique. He couldn't use the ratio thing that
really,
because that's a innate technique specific to Nanami. This is what I'm figuring, by the way. None of this is really confirmed, but this is how I understand it.
I wonder if 10 Shadows is an innate ability.
I think it is, because that's why he wanted to take over Megumi's body so bad, because it's not a technique he can really copy.
Mm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, let me continue. So, like I mentioned before, Gojo states that instead of merely providing support, Sukuna will also attack when Maharaga negates his inviolability. That means this is 2 against 1, right? So there's a lot of dialogue. I'm going to kind of skim through it. But he's basically going over a little bit of strategy, and he's coming to terms with the fact that, he can't hit as hard as he'd like to, although he can still deal with Maharaga. He has a way to take him out. That's essentially the gist of it.
Yeah, he's saying that Sukuna is attacking when Maharaga gets close, because once.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
We went over that. I'm on I'm on page 12.
Oh yeah.
But regardless, I'm just moving forward because it's not that essential that I read it all up.
Mhm.
He's like I said, he's just coming to terms with how he's going to like be able to wear Maharaga down. Like he sees a way to a victory, and then Sukuna cuts him off. His own inner monologue, he cuts him off and says, "Don't get the wrong idea. You ain't just fighting against two people. You're fighting against this new age merged beast Agito." And this nigga said, "You look like a lost alien." That's funny. But it's 3 against 1 now, and this is what I was spoiled to.
Yeah, I was
a few
also
days
spoiled
ago.
to this.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a good look at it because I thought he made 2 Maharagas. But he did not. Thank God.
That's basically what I thought he was dealing with, but it's not that serious.
Yeah, I looked away really fast, so I saw 2 Shikigami there, but I was like, oh no, did he make 2 Maharagas? But he did not make 2.
So he merged Nue with a few other of the Shadow Beasts.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty crazy, yo. So, all right, they're fighting. They getting it popping. Remember, the plan is that, Maharaga can touch Gojo while the others can't. But as soon as he does touch Gojo, the others can hit him. So that's the game. And Gojo's trying to maneuver around all of them and take out Sukuna at the same time. He's weaving, shoots the red at Maharaga, and he kind of just brushes it off. And he's like, oh, it's not having much effect. And not just because my output's low. I had only hit it with red once and not even directly. So maybe Maharaga's adaptation isn't all or nothing, but happens in gradation. Meaning like every time he gets hit by it, it boosts his endurance, I guess, to it. That leaves one way to erase Maharaga in a single blow. Takes time, and Sukuna is wary of it. So it basically comes down to the conclusion that he'll have to finish this with unlimited hollow, and that ends this week's chapter. Oh, I have thoughts. I have an immediate thought, but I guess I'll just wait. So, Chris, what are your thoughts?
Whoo, this was my really good chapter of the week.
Certified RGC.
It was really good.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Yeah, fantastic chapter all around. I just had so much fun reading it, and it is funny to see like when I feel like one of the biggest like obstacles that Akutami has made for himself is creating Gojo.
Yeah.
And right now this is kind of like really he's working hard to just kind of like make a Gojo fight very suspenseful, and it's working. I mean, I still genuinely don't know if he's gonna win or not, and it's like it feels like every week, everybody's just like, that's it, Gojo's cooked. But
That's me.
Yeah, but I feel pretty good about Gojo's chances here, just because he's figuring it out, taking it step by step. I still want him to win, just overall, but who's to say is he's gonna win? I just love like the thought process here, and Gojo having to be strategic is very interesting. The more you like the more like in Jujutsu Kaisen's fight that we steep ourselves into the battle system, the more interesting a read it is, because you learn something new every fight here. But I'm really enjoying this. I was spoiled in that 2-page spread. Like I said before, I thought that was like another Maharaga. I was like, oh, he's fucked for sure. But then I saw that it wasn't a Maharaga. It's like, okay, so he's still got a chance. That's good. It'd be crazy if he just cloned Maharaga. But yeah,
It's just piling on.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm having such a good time reading this. I'm so glad it's not on break next week, because as we stated in our talk, in our pre-show, the Jujutsu Kaisen is up there in one of the series that we most look forward to reading, and it's because of chapters like this where it's just I just don't know how how anything's going to turn out. I'm very excited to see what he does with Unlimited Hollow, if it's gonna really work. Because I feel like even if he gets rid of Maharaga, he still has to contend with Sukuna, who probably is recovering as this is going. He probably summoned this beast in order to just kind of like take a breather and just do support, play a support role. But yeah, I don't have many thoughts. Very cool action chapter. I am very into it. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna toss this over to Brian. Brian, what did you think about this chapter?
This fight is probably gonna go down as one of the best fights in Shonen, just because of like how it's being played out. It's up there with like Hunter x Hunter levels of like intricacies and like playing around with the systems of the story. Like Black Flash being introduced here shows that every facet of this power system that it has to offer is being utilized. Like everything is being put forth. So this story isn't holding any punches. This is the best of the best that the series has to offer, and it is delivering very well. I'm honestly impressed. Like I love how this fight is going, and every week I'm left thinking, "Oh my god, what's going to happen next?" You know? So just Gege is doing a masterclass on writing right now. Because you just don't know what's going to happen. Every week you don't know what's going to happen, and there's no trope that we can rely on right now to like have comfort in knowing what might happen. It's just it's all up in the air, and that's what draws us in every week to read it, because we really just have no clue how this is going to go down. And I really appreciate that from this series. But aside from that, those are my thoughts.
Okay, so this is what I think. The fact that he knows that he has to use Unlimited Hollow to take Maharaga out, I feel like that's something Sukuna knows as well. And I'm just gonna say again, this is really not looking good for Gojo. He's being predictable. You know what I'm saying? Like he's being led down a path while Sukuna's really just chilling. It has like the upper hand, and he's probably just waiting for that move to come out, because it's not like he doesn't. I don't think he doesn't know about that. I don't know about Unlimited Hollow. I actually don't know what that does. Is that the purple one?
I don't think he's used it, right, Brian?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
It just tells me that that's the only option he has.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't used it yet. That I'm pretty sure.
All right, but if that's the only option he has to deal with Maharaga yet again, I would believe that Sukuna has a play for that. So I'm not confident.
Yeah, but Gojo knows that he's like waiting for it too. He mentions it that like he knows Sukuna's like waiting for him to use it. So, but I think Gojo's just saying here that he's got to find a way to use it regardless. Like even though he knows Gojo's waiting for it, it's kind of his only chance to like even the odds.
Yeah, good point. All right. I'm ready to finish my thoughts.
I guess I'll give one more thought that I thought that, came to mind. I was thinking about that time where he fought Toji and like the aftermath of that, which I really respect out of Gojo as a character, because he was already like, when he was young, he was like very aware that he was OP and there was nobody who can like conceivably stop him. And he knew that he was a prodigy that could kind of get through anything. But even so, like after the Toji incident where he did nearly die because he was like careless, he realized that like, oh, it just doesn't stop here. I could always be better. And he did note that after that incident, he never stopped training his ability. He's not just resting on his laurels and being content with just his already overwhelming strength. He's just like, well, I had to teach myself to use reverse curse technique because I really saved my ass in the Toji fight, so I had to get really good at it. And that we've seen how that, like, actually, if he never really learned that lesson with Toji, he probably would have died a long time ago in this fight because he wouldn't have had a mastery over reverse curse technique. And even so, he was like still training red and purple and blue to be the strongest they can be. I don't think Gojo has ever stopped working on himself, which is a good, I guess, lesson in a sense of you're never really like a finished product, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There's always stuff that you can like sharpen or keep. You got to have your upkeep, you know? You can't just like, you're never really done developing. And I think that's like a nice subtle moment for his character. I'm hoping he doesn't die so bad. I would like,
I don't want it to happen.
I would like Gojo
I'm
to
just
survive
trying
this
to
series.
train myself for the moment.
Yeah, but all right then. I suppose if there's no more rebuttals, we can move on then. Yeah.
You're
All right.
Yep.
Here we go. Chainsaw Man. Oh boy, let me reset this. Chainsaw Man. This is Chainsaw Man chapter 141, Normal Life Plus. So over the last few chapters, there has been a battle for basically Denji in the sense that public safety wants him to quit as Chainsaw Man, while there has been an entire cult developing around Chainsaw Man that has been trying to recruit him. And all the while, Denji is just sad that he can't really use his powers for his own gain. But everybody seems to worship him, but he can't really like take advantage of it. And he's kind of stuck in this cycle of he's achieved everything he's kind of wanted to do at the beginning of the series, which is just to have a regular life where he has a house and he could eat regular food and he doesn't have to live in a shed. You know, he has people who care for him, or a person at the very least who cares for him. You know, he's wondering is it wrong to kind of like want more from your life? So he's kind of having a crisis over that, about complacency, really. And we start this chapter off, you know, with Denji trying to live a normal life as he's agreed to kind of like, well, actually I forgot about that, but at first he agreed to kind of like live a normal life under the public safety's demands. But after learning that he can potentially sleep with a bunch of women, he tries to join the Chainsaw Man Church and gets disappointed by that because that doesn't turn out the way he wants either. Turns out there's not just like women lined up to have sex with him. So he's like, well, this is terrible, and you're all crazy. You're all a crazy cult. So I'm leaving. And now we start this chapter with him trying to live a somewhat normal life. Seeing his face as Chainsaw Man plastered on food, you know, like there's like a curry bun line with Chainsaw Man attached to it, like he's a local celebrity, and you know he's just hanging out with Nayota, I think her name is, and there's a devil there. A devil emerges, and Denji's like, oh, "Yay!" And he's about to pull his thing, but he kind of stops. And devil hunters appear and take care of the devil themselves. He goes home. He, you know, hangs out with Nayuta and the dogs, you know, showers with them and brushes their teeth and stuff. And he gets to bed and, you know, he just doesn't seem to be able to sleep. He sees the poster of Chainsaw Man. And Nayuta wakes up and is like, can't sleep. And he's like, and Denji asks her, what's going to happen to me from here on out? Like, after I graduate and get a job, will I be happier than I am now? And Nayuta asks him if he's unhappy, and he's like, I don't know. And Nayuta says, like, I'll stay with you for the rest of your life. Then you'll be happy too, right? Just because I'm cute. And it's like a cute little moment, I guess. And Denji just, like, goes back to cuddling with Nayuta. Without really saying anything. And we cut over to Family Burger, because I actually remember this is the place where Kobeni worked in
Yeah.
Chainsaw Man Part 1, where the weapons of the Chainsaw Man Church are gathered having lunch, talking about how like tomorrow is the Chainsaw Man Day of Worship. So the followers are not to be hunting any devils that appear. But the civilian and public safety devil hunters will come out crawling like cockroaches. So he says, if we keep killing them, Chainsaw Man's sense of justice will brim over, and he'll arrive to defeat the devils. So Sword Guy is like, hey, why go this far to draw Chainsaw Man out? And he's like, don't worry about it. One of the weapons is like, tomorrow we are weapons. Discard all other thoughts. Sword Guy is like, I'm human. Let me think for myself. He's like, but this guy, I think he's the flamethrower devil, the guy with the suspenders. He's flamethrower man. He says he's right. We're humans. We're also weapons and devils too. So you know what these three have in common? One of them says that they're all hard to spell, which is crazy. But he says humans, weapons, and devils were all born to kill. And that's why God will forgive us no matter how many people we kill tomorrow. And that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about Chainsaw Man chapter 141?
I don't have too many thoughts. I mean, like I said, I thought it's nice to see the dynamic between Denji and Nayuta. It's cute. I'm a little disappointed that I didn't see any familiar faces with the weapons, but it is interesting. It's like kind of meeting the villains of the new arc. You know what I'm saying? Like at the round table, but they're just at a burger shop talking shit to each other.
Yeah.
Very Chainsaw Man-esque. It said, and that's why God will forgive us, no matter how many people we kill. Wow. It's crazy. I wonder if they're also trying to imply that weapons are different from devils. I mean, they are hybrids, right? They're human devil hybrids.
Here's the thing. I've been rereading Chainsaw Man, so I was reminded of a couple things about the weapons specifically. The weapons are devils, but they seem to be very like unique in the case that Chainsaw Man in Hell has eaten all of them at one point in time. So theoretically, they should not exist, but they still do. Before Pochita came to Earth and met Denji, he seemed to have been in a battle between all of the weapon devils and the four horsemen devils. And he seems to have eaten all of the weapons. And usually what happens when Chainsaw Man in its like full form eats a devil, that devil and everything, like the concept that devil is associated with vanishes forever. So for example, there's no knowledge from the humans. There's no like knowledge of World War II. Because at some point, the Chainsaw Man devil has eaten a World War II devil. There's no nuclear weapons threats apparently in this world either, because the nuclear weapon devil has also been killed and eaten by Chainsaw Man. So that very concept is erased from the world. For whatever reason, the weapon devils have been eaten by Chainsaw Man, but still exist and are still prominent. Probably because like people fear weapons to such a degree that, you can't. They're just too powerful, in a sense. That's my theory, I guess. There's like just certain things that people will never stop being afraid of. So those devils
Like
will live. Yeah, like flamethrowers. That's pretty terrifying. But yeah.
I would say about, I don't know.
Well, swords, arrows, apparently.
Chainsaws, definitely.
Chainsaws for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the special thing about the weapons, really. They are devils.
I wonder if there's a poverty devil.
Probably, yeah. That probably goes in line with famine, no?
Mm.
I don't know. But I would say there's probably a poverty devil, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if people are scared of it, then it exists, right? That's what it.
Well, there's a tomato devil, so.
What, you're saying people
LOL.
can't be afraid of a tomato?
Well, Makima put it this way: is like if there's a coffee devil, then it's weak because nobody's scared of coffee. So, it's the same with the tomato devil. Like in the very beginning of the series, Denji kills the tomato devil. But anyway, you had more thoughts, Josh, or?
Nah, that's about it. What about you, Brian? What do you think?
I hate how Chainsaw Man gives you some serious fucking whiplash when you read it. Because it's like last 2 chapters were the funniest shit I've ever read in my life. And then it immediately goes to fucking like the most existential fucking commentary on what it like is what you want, really what you want kind of thing. It's so it's the most unique series in that aspect. And I think that's what gives it its stripes, That's what makes it so unique is the pace that it can switch up on. I really like the what really confuses me is whether Nayuta is actually like genuine with how she feels. Or is she just like, manipulating Denji again, Because she's a control devil, right?
Yeah.
So there's always that chance that she's just, getting Denji on a leash just like Makima did, right?
Yeah, there's a chance of that, but I feel like Nayuta's feelings for Denji are genuine in the sense that this is a reborn. It's kind of like an Oob situation. You know what I mean? Where Kid Buu was killed and resurrected as Oob and put into Goku's care to see if like there's a chance where Goku can like rehabilitate the control devil in a sense. So yeah, I think like Denji's big thing is that sure, like I'm sure Nayuta has like the impulses to use her control powers, but she doesn't seem to be using them on Denji. Denji seems to be able to have his free will as he is. He just goes along with Nayuta because he doesn't want to like harbor these negative he doesn't want to like nurture her more negative instincts as a devil. So yeah, it's also the thing that like Makima was the control devil as a whole was like quote unquote described herself as a fan of Chainsaw Man. Like she saw what he does in hell and was like a huge fan and was hoping to use Denji to create a better world, or Chainsaw Man specifically. Makima didn't really have a interest in Denji himself per se, just more the Chainsaw Man within him. But Nayuta, I feel like, has an interest in Denji because he's essentially raising her.
So it's like she's unintentionally manipulating him.
Yeah, just by, I guess, her nature as control devil, but I feel like Denji is wiser to it. Like, he doesn't really fall for it in the same way because he is actively trying to care for her and genuinely seems to give a shit about her life and making sure that she has a good quality of life. It's the only thing that Denji really cares about that's not tied to his getting laid and eating good food. But who's to say?
Getting laid and eating food.
That's kind of Denji's whole thing.
Yeah, that's a shit.
But yeah, that's my thought on that. I actually don't know. It could very well be possible that Nayuta is manipulating Denji, but I don't think she's the same person as Makima was.
They're just, using their their nature in different ways.
Yeah, I think there's just certain things they can't help, and but Denji doesn't seem to be like under her spell or anything. It's also the thing that I remember where when Power died and asked Denji to go find her, she did say that like I'm not gonna remember you, and I'll probably be an entirely different person. So it's possible that like the Control Devil as we knew it in Makima is just not around, and this is a completely different Control Devil that has a whole separate list of quirks and personality traits and all that stuff. So I don't know. That's my thought.
I'm just curious what Denji is gonna do.
Yeah.
He's in quite the dilemma.
Yeah.
But those are my thoughts.
Yeah, this was my runner-up. I really like Chainsaw. And I think it's probably because I am currently almost done rereading Chainsaw Man. By the way, if you ever wanted to reread Chainsaw Man, you could probably do it in 2 days. It is an absurdly fast read. It's an absurdly fast read, and it's obviously very short still too. It's like just under 150 chapters, but the first 11 volumes are like such fast reads. I like devour 3 volumes a day basically. Because a lot of it is done visually. It's a very visual series, I think. But yeah, rereading Chainsaw Man has really made me appreciate like the stuff that I forgot about Chainsaw Man the first time reading it. This would be my second read through of Chainsaw Man, by the way. And there's just certain things I remember. I remember the weapons. I completely forgot that they were at the very end of Chainsaw Man Part 1. They were like the weapons that attacked Denji alongside Makima. These same people at the fucking family diner.
Same exact people?
Yep.
Wow.
The Sword Devil, I remember him. He's different from the Katana Devil. there's two
Yeah,
blades.
there's Sword Devil and Katana Devil.
Yeah. Katana Devil was there. So was Sword Devil. Quan Chi was there. Reze was there. And then these 4 people were also there. I think the guy with the short, light-colored hair, he's the Spear Devil, I think. I think this woman is the Whip Devil because she's
she's Whip Devil. I've seen that.
Yeah, and Suspender Man is Flamethrower Devil because that's process of elimination.
So why is he the leader?
I don't know. Well, he's not the leader of the church. I think there's like someone above them. But
I wonder who it is.
yeah. But yeah, overall, I really like this chapter. I do love like Denji's journey. The more I'm like realizing it is the more he's just having kind of like he's going through the human experience from like day one, where you start off with just these natural human impulses, you know, just like eat and procreate and find shelter. And that's his like vibe in the first few chapters and not really thinking for himself. And he starts to like kind of develop autonomy and just like interpersonal relationships with other people with like Power and Aki. And when he loses them, he just like is back to not wanting to absorb this. It's just too much to be a unique thinking person. So he just wants to go back. And now he's wondering that like, now that he's technically in the clear, and if him at the start of the series could see him now, he'd be so happy. But now Denji's not happy because like most people, when you get to a certain level of stability, you're just like wondering as if there's more, you know, not in a greedy sense where you want to be like super rich, but it's just like, what is my purpose? What am I doing here? Am I just is this my life every day? I just go to work and come home and eat and then go to sleep again, you know? And Denji has like this connection to this crazy life he could be having, but he can't for reasons outside of himself. It's very
like he wants both lives. It's like he wants to live as Denji, but also wants to live as Chainsaw Man, and they both like live 2 different lives.
Well, I think like the outside world like puts a lot of restrictions on you, and that's what we're seeing with public safety in them. It's just like they're giving him a choice, you know? He's like, you can't be this, or we'll do this. So just be happy with what you have. And I don't think Denji is necessarily wrong for like having these thoughts of just, am I being complacent right now? Even though his like thoughts are, his like desires are very base and dumb, he's also like, it's analogous to the idea of just being like, damn, there's got to be more than this out there, But I don't know. It's very good. Everybody should read Chainsaw Man and have your own thoughts to it.
Agreed.
But yeah, it's a fantastic chapter overall. Do you guys have any rebuttals before we move on?
Nope.
Alrighty then. That was Chainsaw Man. Let us move onward.
We're not getting this story out there. We need a plan.
Undead Unluck. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Josh to do Undead.
Yeah, it's me again. So, Undead Unluck, chapter number 172. Oh, I can't get to the title. I managed to move. Oh, Yoshi Fumi. It's so good. It's so fun. It's so great. Okay. Last week, Chikara. How do I put it? Last week, he came to terms with who Foucault and the organization is and what they do, and also respect that the best way that he could pay them back and help them out is by living a good life and staying safe. So we continue to this chapter. Foucault and company is caught up in a fight with this Uma called Color, with a O-U-R, Color, because they're in UK. They're not in Japan. They're in British kingdom.
Are they? No, they're not.
I know. I'm just being a dick.
Oh.
But man, they are struggling mightily. They cannot land any lethal blows on the Uma. So we cut over to this chapter this week, where he finds Foucault and company fighting against said Uma, and we have this like cool little speech going on, this like graduation ceremony, talking about a move to a new world, a fresh start on path you all have chosen. There will be walls standing in your way. There will be times when you won't be able to climb them alone, and when you can't, I implore you to rely on those you've met here, your friends. So at this point, there was no fucking doubt in my mind, spoilers, guys, that Chikara was going to join the team to be a negator.
Oh,
but
yeah?
I guess we'll see. They're going hard. Like I said, no one can land a blow. And it looks like Chikara's about to go in there to help them until his old friend runs into him. And he's like, damn, like, where the fuck you went, bro? You're about to miss the graduation ceremony. So Chikara's like, hey, thanks. I admire people like you. You move for the sake of others. But you know what? This is my moment. If I don't budge, if I don't move, right, I'll never be able to move on. Get it? I move, right? Chikara, he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, yo, them people was helping me non-fucking stop. They was protecting me, you, mom, dad, and the whole fucking universe. The whole galaxy. Yeah, there's an Uma named Galaxy too. Bet you ain't know about that, nigga. So yeah, they're friends and saviors. So, boom, he disappears. And he's like, Chikara, his friend. And we see Sean basically use his negator ability to make them visible. He's low-key starting to become one of my favorite characters.
Sean?
Like, the development has been really cool.
Yeah.
But he's like, look, Foucault plans to cut ties with you. Plain and simple, but a nigga like me gonna give you that option. You make that call. You see that thing we're fighting. If you scared and you want to live a nice life, go with your friend. But if you want to chill with the org and risk your life and be a real nigga 24/7, then you know what time it is. So the Uma is like, damn, I'm running out of blue. Maybe I should run over to the gymnasium. I bet they got a bunch of blue there. I'm gonna ruin their ceremony. Fuck you, Foucault. And right before it does that, they all get frozen solid by Chikara coming in with his fucking camera. What did I tell you? And he's like, unmoved. Is Chikara Shigeno here? And he's like, he doesn't say anything because he's not at that fucking auditorium. He's telling that Uma, don't move. And then Fugo delivers a punishing blow on this Uma and destroys it while it's frozen. And I guess there's no more color in the world or something. I don't know, whatever.
Some shit like that. Everything's gray
yeah.
now.
Just like that, they all don't know what color is anymore. All right. Like goodness, everything worked out. Fugo's mad. She's like, "Why did you pull up? You could have got hurt." And he's just like, "Listen, I'm helping y'all. That's that. All right." I managed to move for the first time. Not a person that's not my camera, but me. All right, that camera shit is dead now. My true purpose lies here with all of you. And when I tell you, I thought that was Andy running through the fucking hallway. So at first.
Oh, by the way, I'm here.
But I'm like, whoa. No, but Chikara's friend is like, yo, what you doing, man? He's like, yo. Then he sees all the people that he doesn't remember Foucault in the gang. He's like, yo, like, are you the guys putting in weirdo fucking ideas about him following his dreams in his head? And why are y'all all in uniform? What the fuck is going on here? And he's just like, yo, chill. Let's just take this picture. And, Chikara applies a move on them, and something happens. I don't know why the fuck people go through the roof in this picture, but it happens. Whatever.
Yeah, Shen is running away and trying to escape. So he just like caves through the ceiling when Chikara moves and dispels his unmove. And then the other characters, I guess, seep in from a hole that was already there.
Wow. I'm dead. Okay, well, and that's the end of the chapter. Yeah. The Chikara Negator arc is finished. He's been reconciled and repossessed by the organization.
Ooh, yeah.
Reconciled and repossessed. There we go. Christian, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I really liked it. I agree with you. Sean has been showing out a lot lately. They're making good use of him, which is really cool. I really like the end here with Shen being like, "You won't catch me in any picture," and just blasting through the ceiling.
What was going on?
Yeah, he was trying to like not get a picture taken of him.
Yeah,
but yeah, I thought it was like a cute moment at the end here. I'm glad Chikara's back. He's a really good addition in the last loop. I remember his whole arc was just like that thing on the boat. So it's good to see him get like a second arc dedicated to developing his character. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a cute little story here. I wonder what they're gonna do next. what genre they're just gonna jump into next time. But overall,
hopefully mystery.
Yeah, I imagine a murder mystery or something. That'd be sick. But yeah, that's all I really got to say about Undead Unluck. It was a really fun chapter overall.
Sweet. I don't have too many thoughts. I just want to gloat about. I knew that Chikara was going to be using his camera as part of his unmove attack, and I bet you that he's going to be able to do cool things with it. I bet if he takes a picture of somebody while he's holding like the the actual picture of it, like if it prints out, I bet
Mhm.
they can't move or something. I'm telling you, man, he's gonna do something with this game. But that's it.
All right, hell yeah. Well, that was Undead Unluck, and hey, that has been our show. Jeez Louise, you guys, we did it. A new Jump City. Thank you guys so much for listening, as per usual. Bit of a short show this week, but you know, we were missing One Piece among other things. And yeah, we'll be back with, I guess, a full lineup, sans Black Clover, because as we know, that's moved on as well. But yeah, till then, you can follow me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh is at jdcole_37 on Instagram, at New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian is at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the show itself at New Jump City on Instagram and Twitter as well. Hit us up on newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. We would gladly like to answer on our pre-show chat show that comes out usually every Wednesday. And oh yeah, subscribe to us on YouTube, please. If you like the show, please engage with it however you can. It helps us out. Every comment, every like, everything means a lot. Also, you can check us out on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, everywhere you listen to podcasts. We're on there. And yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you guys next week on New Jump City. Stay safe, New Jump Citizens.
Bye. Bye-bye.
I'm Brian Academia.
Bye-bye.